Good evening. Mark Bishop with ABC News. Petrol rationing has been lifted in Victoria, but the industrial strife is far from over. Oil tanker drivers and aircraft refuelers have voted to return to work, but could strike again if talks with Esso break down. The union at the centre of the month-long dispute is still refusing to return to work. And the dispute, which has caused chaos at the Royal Women's Hospital, has been resolved for the time being.
This is Eyewitness News. First in Melbourne with Mark Bishop.
Good evening, everyone. Heading tonight's news, a Greek ship's captain planning to put ashore 9 Vietnamese refugee stowaways in Geelong. More than 120 men feared dead in a mine disaster in Korea. A freak accident claims a man's life on a railway line near Melbourne. And mystery surrounds an apparent nuclear explosion in the South Atlantic. Are still flying in the wake of a mysterious nuclear explosion in the Southern Atlantic. I'll have the full story next in Eyewitness News.
In the news tonight, details released on a police raid which nets 330 grams of heroin. An international team in the Commonwealth Bank Cycle Classic robbed in Coffs Harbour, and commune residents on the far north coast say a local council is trying to push them out of town. Good evening. I'm Mark. What could be worse than a pub with no beer? How about a brewery with no beer? That's the dilemma facing the new Powers Bitters Brewery at Yatala, just north on the Gold Coast. Only 4 weeks after hitting the pubs in Queensland, the company faces the enviable position of not being able to meet the demand.
What happened to this bike rider?
I wouldn't like to guess. In the news tonight, New South Wales Health Minister Peter Collins throws the health cuts issue back at the feet of the former Labor government. Education authorities say the North Coast has the highest number of fatal accidents involving children and bicycles. And the gold rush continues for Grafton's Rodney Nugent at the Paralympics in Seoul. Good evening, I'm Mark.
Local, live, late breaking. This is Arizona 5 News Special Edition.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Bishop. Testimony in a New York courtroom today is the case of Karen and Richard Thorne, who are accused of abusing their 2 newly adopted Russian daughters on a flight from Moscow. The Thornes' attorneys have tried to reach an agreement with New York foster care workers to allow the couple to bring the girls home to Phoenix. Fish and game officers descend on the East Valley looking for illegal wildlife. They raided 3 homes and confiscated several snakes plus other wildlife. The raid is the result of a 2-year investigation into the buying, selling and bartering of wild animals. This has been Arizona 5 News Update. I'm Mark Bishop. Thanks for watching.
And I think he's given quite a few people a tip on that. And if you had it, good luck to you. Paid $5.45 for the win, $1.55. Stage hit, and Low and Star number 3 was second, and Pride number 7 was third. Speaking of the jovial gentleman, here he is now, Phil Gibbs.
Thank you very much. It's going to be a great show. We've got lots of interesting things to tell people about. Atmosphere here is fabulous.
It is. It's a lovely autumn morning. A little bit breezy, but the sun is out, blue skies, just a little bit of cloud, not much, and of course the bounty behind us. And a lot of people still excited into the second day.
And it's warmed up since 6 o'clock this morning, believe me.
The wind, which got in about 5 to 8, and on the eye of the wind was a gentleman by the name of Derek Furman. Good morning, Derek.
Good morning.
Derek, you had the pleasure all the way from Newcastle to here as a trainee on board the Eye of the Wind. Tell us about it, mate. How did it come about?
Her claim to fame? The first woman to sail alone and unassisted around the world. Now, this lady is a national hero. And it's good morning. If you've had a heart attack or are close to someone who has, you'll be interested in our next guest this morning, and particularly the information that he has to share. Bill Melazenko. It's only a little stopover place where one can enjoy delicious Devonshire teas, study interesting copper art, and peruse over some great Australian land and seascapes, oiled by this man, Johannes.
Because it was very unbelievable to things like that can happen.
So now we know what a count is doing at the Lizard's Rest, doing what comes naturally. So naturally, in fact, that ex-president Ronald Reagan thought enough of his work to have one commissioned for the White House. It was called the Drover, and sent a letter accordingly, a thank you letter. John certainly has that framed. But I wonder if fate had dealt a different hand for young Johannes Schultz, the Count of Slasniski. Would life have been that to consume, generally aiming for a healthier and more substantial lifestyle? Health food shops and eateries have sprung up all over the nation, giving us various so-called natural goodies to get us back on track, or in a lot of cases, quell respective ailments. Kamala Devi is one natural food
devotee who takes it all literally quite seriously. This rare bird is the brilliant new Condor Sports Coupe, star of this year's Melbourne Motor Show, brainchild of former racing driver and Victorian rally champion John Dixon. Dixon inherited his love of speed from his father, who used to race motorbikes and has been mechanically inclined since the age of 5. Now, with his two partners, Bill Kane and Gordon Peters of Revolution Fiberglass, has formed Quadrupine Proprietary Limited and accomplished his aim of producing a practical two-seater sports car at more than a reasonable price. Bill, the Condor, full acceptance by motor transport people?
Yes, Mark, we've had a fantastic reception by the Motor Edge people in Melbourne on the car, safety aspects, clean sheet right through. DTR in Sydney have given us a full type approval for the first time ever on any kit car known.
You see our cars of the future coming back to fiberglass?
Definitely. There's not much left for us. We've had the metal.
Condor's made its mark on sports car enthusiasts. John Dixon, Bill Kane and Gordon Peters, Condor's a touch of class. Aussie style.